What's going on, everybody? This is Al from playbookgamer.com, and I am going to do a live stream. Going to work on the new Dynasty. I'll give people some time to come in here. I want to fix a couple things first. Let me go over to here. Content. Go live. I want to fix this. Go like that. Gotta change a couple things first. Let's see. 10 minutes. Yeah, we'll save that. Gonna make a couple other changes. Gonna save that. Welcome in, everybody. Again, I'm gonna give people some more time to come in before I really get things going. I'm going to change a couple things. Make sure I got everything where I want it. I'm going to go to customization. Don't need, I think I'm good there. Everything else, let me change this. Change that to that. Save. I'm not really sure what playlist I should put this on just yet. I'll worry about that later. All right. Yeah, okay. Yeah, how about them Vols? Big win last night against Bama. I was at the Missouri game Saturday, and that was a roller coaster of emotions, to say the least. And getting that buzzer beater put on us 2 games in a row was tough, but now I guess all that's forgotten when you beat the ¡1 team in the country in Alabama. So that was a huge win for us, yeah. All right, do you think your Duke team can beat this Tulane team? That's a good question. I about halfway don't remember which players I had on that Duke team. I mean, we were loaded with talent. It'd be a tough one for sure. My guess is Stuckey would be the deciding factor. If I remember correctly, we had a pocket passer who was our starting quarterback at the end of that Duke dynasty. I could be wrong. Big old white kid. He was a 5-star quarterback. Finally shined in the last couple seasons of that dynasty. Arkansas, Pine Bluff, could that have been a championship? If I would have stuck with it, yeah. I got agitated and got frustrated. That was just my fault, and I shouldn't have. I should have kept that one going. Either that or was my file corrupt? I think that's what it was. I corrupted my file. Don't ever, if you're running on an emulator, don't ever exit the emulator while you're saving. It's very easy to do, and I don't back up my files. That's what happened there. But anyway, this is what we're going to try to do today. Is somebody, Bobby Whitehead, had a great comment in the poll that I just put out a couple of hours ago. A very good simple rule. He said I probably need to challenge myself, which he's correct. I need to go back and try the whole 1-star program thing and try to move them up, build them into a title contender. And that's what I'm going to do today. What I'm going to do in this stream is actually show you my process and how I pick teams and kind of go from there when I start a new dynasty. I figure it'd be fun for you all to come in and watch me do all that. We could chat. I'll do all that good stuff. But now that we got enough people in here, my plan is, again, I'm going to pick a 1-star program and build them up. I'm going to use one rule, and one main rule at least, and that is I am going to recruit at my current program prestige. So if I'm a 3-star program, I can only recruit 3-star and below. Well, since I'm going to start off with a 1-star program, I can only recruit 1-star kids until I can get them better. I've never done that before, and it sounds like a real challenge, and I'm sure it will be. I just got to keep things in perspective and just not get upset when I got terrible talent. That's just something I got to get over. Plus, I think a lot of people have fun watching me try to do this. As long as I stuck with it. The last time I done this was Murray State. That was a whole lot of fun. I went through about 4 seasons, won a title with them. So we're going to do something similar, but this is going to be more of a challenge. Also, I have decided, yes, I did it with Murray State, pick an FCS team. Their uniform, yeah, I love Pitt Panthers uniform. Southern Illinois. I'm not going to pick a AA school. There are a ton of 1-star programs, and I can show you. Let me bring this over here. This is what I was looking at before. Let's do something like this. There are a lot of FBS schools that are 1-star programs that are pretty bad. And what I'm going to do is I know I'm going to pick a team in the north/northeast. It's been forever since I've been up there. What was the last time I've done that? I guess that main Dynasty. Well, I done it for like a year and a half, and then I quit, which I regretted doing that. No transfers allowed with that rule. With that, no, I'm going to use the transfer thing. That's the only way. I mean, that's not the only way, but that's just the real life now. I'm trying to keep it. Now I know one thing. Let's see. One thing you could do is schedule 1-star programs while you're at a 1-star program. Yeah, I'm going to try to keep it pretty low level on the scheduling. But I figure that's the only thing to make it more. Yeah. When it comes to the transfer thing, everybody knows this past season I've used that transfer mod. And I think it's really cool. Now, that's going to make things a little bit easier with that 1-star thing. You'd get instant halfway decent players that second year. And so I've thought about keeping the transfer thing in there. So that's probably what the deal. Either way, I'm going to pick a team from the north, northeast, midwest, somewhere up in there. And they're going to be terrible. They're going to be a 1-star program. Like I said, more likely an FBS school. They're all really bad. And just kind of go from there and just try to keep the recruiting as realistic as I can, by just sticking with that prestige rule. So that's what we're going to do. Okay, get Southeast Missouri State. That's probably. I'm trying to think of everything. A team that's east of the Mississippi River. That's kind of my thinking there. Again, northeast, because again, it's just been forever since I've played up there. So I have a list of some teams that interest me. I know everybody's kind of saying do an FCS school or Coastal Carolina. I don't know. We'll see. I prefer to pick an FBS school. It's going to be hard enough as it is. But we'll see. Okay. So here are the FBS schools that are on my wish list for now. I got 3. We got Ball State. Now, again, I am going to start a brand new Dynasty file. I just think it makes sense because if I quit Tulane and stick in that Dynasty, it's going to be kind of unfair because I'm going to have like a really good coach prestige at a really bad school. And that's not really realistic in a sense. Not technically. And that goes away if I start with a brand new file. So that's what I plan on doing. I just think it makes more sense. Plus, I've done the transfer or the movement before in a couple other dynasties from what was UNLV to Mississippi State and then SMU to Washington State. That was fun and everything, but I kind of want to keep it as a separate file. So that's going to be the plan. So, all right, here we go. What I'm going to do, Ball State, Buffalo is another one. I really like Buffalo. We're going to look at some things here in a minute. And the other one is Temple. Temple is a 1-star program. They're terrible. So those are the 3 for now FBS. There was a couple other schools I was kind of looking at, like Central Michigan, Eastern Michigan, but I really can't stand the state of Michigan. No offense to any Michigan people out there. It's not you in general. I just don't want to do anything in Michigan. So I thought it'd be fun, and recruiting will be tougher if I picked a team from Indiana or from New York. The Philadelphia or the Pennsylvania one would be a little bit easier, but Temple is going to be an option. So those are the 3 FBS schools. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to bring this back over, do that, and from here, we're going to go into practice mode. And what I'm going to do is just look at their aesthetics. I kind of care about that as about as anything else. So here's what we're going to, and then we'll look at the rosters after that. So the plan is scheme-wise, I'm going to do as modern of an offense as I can think of, which is going to be RPOs, halfback dives, and read options. A lot of that just give mesh read look over that over and over again. And I think that'll be fun. That's going to be a tougher scheme to do from the shotgun than like doing speed option and stuff like that. But that's going to be kind of the offense there. The defense is a 4-2-5. I just want to do something different from the 4-3. And the 4-2-5, I've done that in the past once, and I had a fun with it. So I think I want to do that again, just to switch things up. So let's go over to practice mode. And I just want to look at, first off, Ball State. And here's the way I do it. I go into practice mode, and right now I'm just looking at aesthetics, and then we can look at the roster. and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So I'm still using the latest texture pack from the Next guys. That's obvious. Want to use that. So let me go over to Ball State, and we'll look at their stadium, all that good stuff. New Hampshire, yeah, anything up in the Northeast is going to be a challenge to say the least. So let me just pick like a random play, doesn't really matter. And I'm going to roll with one play here, just do it really quickly. Do I have this turned on? I'm not here. Why am I not hearing? Oh, let me see. Hold on. Why am I not hearing this? Let me check something. Ah, there we go. Much better. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. I'm going to go to instant replay. And this is what I look at. Do I like the uniform? So here's Ball State. I think that looks pretty slick. It's kind of basic. It's a whole lot better than the original, what they had set up in 06. But that's pretty slick. I wanted to look at the stadium. That's why I went to practice mode. Here's the away default away uniform. That looks pretty cool. Yeah, UConn is terrible. I was going to pick them, but they're a 2-star school, and I can't stand UConn just because I'm a Tennessee guy and whatnot. So I don't want to see them ever succeed in anything. But that looks pretty cool right there. Not a bad look. Now, I want to zoom out. Their stadium is pretty cool. I like the end zones. There is no midfield logo, but at least there isn't a, what do you call it, the conference logo either, which I'm actually okay with because one of the goals is obviously to get invited to the Big Ten or what have you. But it's a pretty cool looking stadium. Nothing special about it, but it's not bad either. So I'm going to go back out, and from there, I want to look at their alternate uniforms. And then we're going to go to 2 other schools, the other ones I mentioned, Buffalo and Temple. And then we're going to look at the rosters. I'm going to narrow it down to that. And then after that, if I feel like it, I may look at some FCS schools. But again, I'm not sure if I really want to do that or not. So let's go over to Play Now. Want to go to Ball State. Go all the way over here. I'm just going to select that. And here's what I wanted to look at. They have an alternate uniform, which is nice. And of course, I can go on the back end and fix all this, change it to whatever I want, but I really don't want to do that every other game. I'd like to have options in game. It just saves time. But that's a pretty cool alternate look. It's got the black pants, and then you got just your alternate away uniform. So Ball State is an option. So the next thing we can do is Bowling Green. They're actually really good in this game out of the gate because that's where they're like one of the top teams in the MAC, and they're a 2-star school. Yeah, I think that's right. And I'm only picking a 1-star school. So let's go and check out. While I'm here, let me just do it from Play Now. Let's go over to Buffalo. I'm not going to lie. Buffalo, I really liked what I saw earlier. We're going to go right here. Go to Buffalo and look at their uniform. I think it's really slick. A nice, good-looking blue. I like the all-blue look, and of course, they got that as their default away. Then you got a gray, which I think is pretty neat. And then you have another Ultra 2. I think that looks really slick. I like every bit of that. So if you go over to game modes, we'll go to practice mode. I got to switch my favorite team. I'll do that once I select the team. We'll go over here. And go there, do this, go Buffalo. Let's select Buffalo. Do something like that. Georgetown isn't even in the game, and I don't feel like creating a school. Again, I'm selecting an FBS school. So here we go. Let's just select RPO. And we can also look at my offense here in a little bit. Once I kind of pick a team, more or less, we can look at some of my playbook stuff. Let me just pick something. Just go. Let's see if he can catch that. Little bitty wide receiver. All right, here's what I wanted to say. Full mod, no, I will not, Clutch. I'm waiting for them to come out with the latest one, and I don't want to wait a couple more weeks until they do that, so I'll just work on it, or I'll use the new ISO probably in the next Dynasty. So I'm okay with using the default rosters in here, or the ones I got named rosters for. Good looking uniforms. I like the whole blue. I think it looks really slick. This will be a tough recruiting job as well. There's not a whole lot of talent in New York. And here you got their away uniforms, really nice there. Then you got a really cool stadium, really interesting end zones. I don't know how many this place holds. I can go back and look at it. It's like 32,000, something like that. But it's pretty slick. I like the end zones. Buffalo. What's it say on the other end? Buffalo. There's no conference logo here, which is good. That's something I won't have to change if we ever get invited to a conference. Yes, no conference logo. I'm never been a fan of that because again, you have to go back and change it, which you can on the back end. But I think this is really cool. Honestly, I like this better than Ball State. And I've already done. I mean, I've done my Indiana Dynasty. What was that? 2 or 3 years ago. I've never done a Dynasty up in New York that far north. I think that'd be pretty cool. So I think this will be a really good option. All right. Let's look at Temple really quick, and then I'll just kind of make up my mind which one I want to go with. And from there, again, I could pick an FCS school, but I just don't know if I really want to. This is going to be enough of a challenge as is with the new recruiting rule. And also, another thing I want to do is I'm not going to... I don't know if people consider this cheating. I don't think it's cheating. And that is moving, like, linebackers down the defensive end. That's a game flaw. They just goofed up on creating natural defensive ends and made it too easy for linebackers to play really well down there. So I may not do that anymore. We'll see. Does a Temple play? Yes, that's one of the positives of Temple is they got the best stadium of the bunch, and it's not even close. And Hofstra, and I don't know if it's in the game. We can look at some of the FCS stuff a little bit later. Let me look at Temple. We're gonna go here. Am I in play now or am I in practice mode? I am in practice mode. Okay, we'll just stay here. Let's do that. Let's go Temple. If I can get to it. We'll go Temple. Pick their stadium. One of the other advantages of Temple is they're in Pennsylvania. And that is a pretty strong recruiting territory. Temple is actually an independent in this game. Thank you, Zach. They are an independent in this game in particular. Now in that next mod, they probably have that changed or updated or whatnot. But we're not going to use that this go around unless they update that mod in the next day, by tonight. Otherwise, I'm starting the new Dynasty tonight or tomorrow, whichever. All right, let's just pick a play, do this, and I'm going to go to instant replay and go here. This guy over the middle. Okay. Really good looking updated uniforms. Whoever done those, good job. I think it looks really slick. I just like the color palette. I think these are really strong. And I like them a whole lot better than the originals. And then you got the, like the Stormtrooper look here. Really slick. Now you go and look at their stadium. This is Lincoln Financial Field. And this is going to be similar to my Tulane Dynasty where we were playing in an NFL stadium. But this is a pretty cool looking stadium, I'm not gonna lie. This is more realistic in terms of a future. Like if I end up winning national championships, at least I'll be playing in a stadium that's worthy of it, if that makes sense. Again, Golden Sharks, FBS, brother, FBS. I know you keep throwing out FCS stuff, I'm saying FBS. So here we go. I think this looks really cool. Again, they got the advantages, a couple different ones, and I think those look just really slick in general. It'd be them or Buffalo. I'm going to go ahead and say it right now. Ball State was the least of my favorite of my three. So I'm thinking Buffalo or Temple. And so let's go. And I'm going to look at the alternate uniforms for Temple. And then we're going to look at the rosters for both. And then I'll probably just narrow it down. That is the updated Temple logo. So let's go game feature. I want to go, where am I? I'm going to go play now. Let's see. Buffalo, yeah, Temple. Go here. And I want to go here, and I want to go here. So here are we know these. This is the default home, default away. Then they got a black pants look for their alternate home. Then they got those, which is pretty typical alternate, I would say. Yeah, that is the bad part. You can't keep up with records with an FCS school. Unfortunately, even if you bring them up, it just doesn't work. So I think those look pretty cool. So I'm thinking there's no other Big Ten team. Let me see. Can I go back and look? Let me go over here. When I'm thinking Northeast, there's no other team I can think of because again, I want to pick a one-star school. Uh, Arkansas State, no. Army's one, but I don't want to do triple option. That's just not in that, and I don't want to do a. I'd have to do some like really weird recruiting stuff with Army. But Ball State, Buffalo, Central Michigan, Eastern Michigan could have been one of them, but I just don't want to do anything in Michigan. I just don't care. We've already done. This is just me being really weird about things. When it comes to Tulane, we've been staring at green, the color green, for months. And I really don't want to do Eastern Michigan because of that. Florida, Idaho. Kent State was another one. They're a one-star school, and they're pretty terrible in this game. I'll show you what I saw, and this is the reason why I don't want to do it really quickly. The uniform was kind of weird on one aspect. If you go over to Kent State, go over to Kent State, and I'll just it doesn't matter their stadium or anything. I was just going to show you something really quick. This is something the next guys need to look at. Let's just go something like this, that's fine. Let's just throw to somebody and go down. Okay, here's what, again, the next guys need to look at this. If you notice, if I can put my trigger, there we go. Look at that number 2 right there, that left one. I think that's kind of weird. I think it's just a uniform flaw of some sort, and that would mess me. That would just freak me out to no end. It's just me being OCD. So I just didn't want to really deal with that. I think their helmets look really cool. If you look over here, that's a pretty cool looking helmet. I'm not going to lie. That's pretty neat. But otherwise, I just wasn't a really big fan of it. So if you go back to, if I can, there we go. If you go back to this, Kent State, MTSU, Navy, again, I just really no different than Army. Ohio was another one, but again, it's green on green on green, and I just really don't want to do it. Rice, no. SMU, Temple, Troy. This is South. The South is that West. Western Michigan. Again, I just don't want to do a Michigan thing. So this is all the one-star programs. So it's Buffalo or Temple. Those. Yeah, just northeast is kind of what I'm doing here. Golden Sharks, I love you, brother, but you got to keep up, man. You're not following what I'm doing here. So let's go out of here, and I can look at some FCS schools. Okay, what I can do, let me go. They're all terrible, aren't they? So, again, I just don't know if I want to do that or not. I can go over here, go to extras. Let me just look at something really quick. They're all going to be really bad. I don't want to do FCS. I just don't want to do it. This is going to be hard enough as is. So let's just stick with one of the two. So I'm either probably going to do Buffalo or Temple. Now, the next thing I want to do is look at the rosters. That's it. That's the next thing I wanted to do. Now, the roster doesn't have to fit my scheme by any means. I'll recruit towards both schemes. Especially like the 4-2-5, it'll take me longer to get there as opposed to running, like a spread offense or whatnot. So when we go over to rosters, game features, we'll look at Temple since we're closer here. Now this is the interesting thing about Temple. If you, let me bring up my little thing here. Let's go there. Notice right here, Temple is a really tough rebuild. 34 seniors. Can you imagine that? That many leaving, like you have literally nobody coming back. Now, of course, again, I'm using this mod, the little adjusted mod where I could do the immediate transfers. I'm going to have a bunch of new guys come in. But that's ridiculous. That's just crazy. They got that many seniors. Like, I would be redshirting as many seniors as possible, whichever ones I could, just to keep them intact. But anyway, that's something interesting. But what I wanted to show you was their overall, how many like guys in the 80s they have. They got 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. They got about 16 or so. Their senior quarterback, he's a pocket passer, so I'm going to be doing like a ton of RPOs, stuff like that. They got some decent halfbacks, but again, they're both seniors. I'd probably redshirt one. Fullback, don't have to worry about that. We're going to run a spread offense, so we're going to go 3 and 4 wide a lot. Then wide receivers, decent, okay. I mean, they're there. They got plenty of them, so they're set up to run the spread. Which has the toughest schedule? I guess it depends. You know, Temple's an independent, so I can make that as tough as I want, but I have no incentive to do that. I'm not trying to do a god mode with this. I mean, I like to have some challenge, but I don't need to make this thing as super hard as possible just out of boredom, if that makes sense. It's not worth it to me. I mean, I'm not that bored with the game. Otherwise, I just go play a different game. Tight ends, they got some dudes, but I can't really do anything with them. They got, they got some slow guys. Offensive line, couple decent guys, nothing great. Then you got defensive end, not much there to begin with. Defensive tackles, plenty of those. I think they run a 4-2-5 bunch. So you look at their outside linebackers, 80 and 78. I think you're right on the schedule thing. Middle linebacker, just not a whole lot there. Corners, they got a bunch of them, and they're all decent. 78 at free safety. They got, this is the key. This would give me a little bit of help this first season because I want to go 4-2-5. I could play a lot more 4-2-5 with this team out of the gate, just because if they got extra bodies here and they're not terrible, if that makes sense. Then they got kickers and they got extra punters. I don't know why they have them. At least you can redshirt somebody at least or something. So that's them. Overall, it says they got a C+ rating for talent. We'll go over to Buffalo. There we go. Now, Buffalo, they are a C, so I guess just a little bit less talent. They got what? Oh, they got a lot less guys in the 80s. They got a senior. This is pretty even spread. 17, 16, 15, 18, 86, 85, 84, 82. Then it gets down. So, talent-wise, they're about the same as Temple, but a little bit less, but maybe not as hard just because they don't have 34 seniors, I guess. Quarterback, this is much tougher. They don't have much of quarterback, and they don't have any speed as well. With my offense, my preference is to have somebody who could run a little bit. I can do more read option stuff. The RPO, I won't need it as much. But either way, not a whole lot to work with your quarterback. So this will technically may be harder because I don't have an impact quarterback to play with. Halfback, they got a bunch of random dudes. Everybody kind of like in the mid-70s and whatnot. Fullback, I'll have to kind of recruit or spread those guys out. And wide receiver, they got a couple of guys. Nothing great, though. Nothing special at all. Tight end, everybody's slow. I know it says 82 overall. Can he catch? He can catch a little bit, so I may be able to throw to him a little bit. But he's so slow, I couldn't have him do a lot of deeper stuff. Looking at their offensive line, 85 and 76, 80, 72. This actually looks tougher than Temple, to be honest. 86 at right end, not bad. Defensive tackle, 84. Linebackers outside, just nothing great. Middle linebacker, they got one good one, okay one. Senior corner, not bad at these two corners, but guess what? They're seniors, so they'll be gone after a year. Free safety, that is dreadful. They got nothing. Okay, this is good. They run a 4-2-5. I did not know that. Is it on here? Let me look at the scouting report. I didn't think about this. Is it here? I can show you what I'm talking about right here. If you go to Buffalo, it says they run a 4-3, but they have a ton of strong safeties for me to tinker with, which is nice. So I think that's pretty cool. That gives me bodies. That means I can just run nothing but 4-2-5. I didn't want to have to transition for 2 years just to get there, which means I was going to have to play 4-3 or something to get over there in time. Kickers, they just got them there, and they got a punter. I think I like Buffalo out of the bunch. Out of the two, that one's going to be a little bit harder recruiting-wise overall, just because there's just not as much talent in New York. And if you look at, what's a good... I know what I need to look up. Where is my recruiting map? I had that set up. Where's that at? I forgot what blog post it was. Let me go... Let me click here. Let me go here. Dynasty mode. If it'll go to it. Did it go to it? Dynasty mode. It's trying. It's taking a sweet time. I don't know what's so... I I usually have really good internet. I don't know why it's taking forever. I'll let it sit there and do its thing. Let's see. You're partial to Temple. Temple seems too easy. Okay, I finally did it. Going over here, what I want to check out is it's a post. I forgot which one it is. I probably got this zoomed in too much. That's okay. In geography, that's it. I want to look at this map I created a long time ago. Now, I don't know why I put New York as easy. Maybe I felt like it was, I don't know why. I could have, I'm pretty sure in the game there's not a ton of talent in New York, but if I was going to take over Buffalo, I'd recruit in Pennsylvania a whole lot, which just makes sense. It's just sitting right there beside me. And then New Jersey, then a couple of these other ones, if that. So if I'd done Pennsylvania, I'd be doing like both Ohio and New York, just somewhere up and through there. So, okay, that's all I wanted to see with that. Otherwise, I'm good with either one. I mean, I'm kind of partial maybe to Buffalo just because I've never been that far north with a team before. I'm good with either one. I can reveal that in my next video. I don't have to decide that right now. The 34 senior thing, that would be quite the challenge, especially if I'm going to stick with the rule. Makes simple and Temple looks better. But my rule of prestige recruiting is what I'm going to stick with. I got a blue shirt on, so therefore I should rock with Buffalo. That makes complete sense. Okay, so the next thing I want to do, I haven't made up my mind. I'll pick one. It'll just hit me. I'll be like sitting on the John tonight, and it'll just hit me. Oh, we'll go Buffalo or we'll go Temple or whatnot. But I just think what I want to do next is I want to look at my playbook. I think some of you may be interested in that. What I'm going to do, I always like to do this, I'm going to use my test profile first, and then I'll create a new profile once I'm done. So I'm going to go over playbooks. And this is pure modern shotgun spread offense, RPOs, halfback dives, read option, that over and over and over again. Like, I'll try my best not to use much speed option. I can sparingly if I need it. Otherwise, it's just going to be a lot of that mesh read pretty much the entire time, and some drop back with that, of course. But when the offense is going great, it's going to be very RPO heavy, along with the read option stuff and the dive and a halfback off tackle. So I need to fix some of this. What I'm going to do is I need to pick, let me just look at some formations I haven't used in a while, and I'm pretty sure I've updated all these. I want this to be a one back look. So let me look at a couple things first. Let me go have an idea. I'm going to go gun splits. We're going to go gun two back slot. Well, unfortunately, neither one of them's got it, so I'll end up having to recruit it. A speedy quarterback. I'm going to go here. Then I'm going to go gun ace. Then we'll go gun ace twins. Trips over, but I will look at all of these. Let's just leave it as is for now. I'm just trying to tinker with some formations and see which RPOs I like the best, and then I'll just stick with them. We'll go here, and let's just pick, we'll pick Buffalo for now. Then we can go pick Temple later. I'm going to go here. I'm going to go here. We'll go Buffalo on Buffalo, because I want to look at both of their uniforms more. Get a full Buffalo aesthetic and go noon. We'll go here. We'll go here. We'll go here. We'll speed this up. Let's see. I can't seem to find the halfback screen you have a gun spread. It's different than mine. That's because I used my own created plays, Clutch. I think, were you the one who asked me that a couple weeks ago or last week? I play on the emulator and I use my own created plays, so that's why I assume you're playing on the console or you're not using my playbook file. So I'm going to go over to gun ace. Is that my first one? No, gun split. I just want to look. Have I fixed? I have not done any of the pass plays for these. I can tell these pass plays are still from the old. I want to make this more two back or one back than anything else. I may be wasting my time with this two-back stuff. Because I want to make it a little more spread than typical. I think what I'm going to do is I may get away from the gun split two-back slot and do all the one-back going forward. So let's go gun ace. Let me look at P read. Yes, this is, I created this one. Let's go here. They're going zone. I want to see if this will work or not. Go over here. I like that RPO pretty good. Looks like they're going cover 0. We'll go over this way. Can he get there? May have to take him over. So again, it just depends on what you like to look at. I think this looks really slick. I'm trying to think of different colors now. The red is obviously different from what we've done recently. Because what we've done recently, we just done Tulane. They're green and blue. Before that, we done Duke. They're blue. So maybe Temple may need to be the next one. Again, I just kind of think about that stuff. Just really weird off the cuff. So let me back out. Let me look at another. We got off tackle, a QB draw, QB choice. Again, my quarterback isn't very fast in this one, so I can't do a whole lot of read option with him. Man, let's go something like this. Or going man, I can pass it or hand it off. I'll select my playbook later. We don't have to do all this now, but I just kind of want to show you what I plan on doing. I'm just looking at gun ace twins. I'm just looking at some of the RPOs and just make sure. Biggest thing is every one of my formations has QB choice and PE read. Just both of them along the way. Gun wide trips. This is a great QB choice, PE read. These are excellent. I love this new play that I created. I like it a whole lot. Again, Game Sharks, there is no 76 QB speed in the QB option. Don't have it yet, buddy. Let me just go ahead and I'm going to go gun trips over will be another one. QB choice, P read, every bit of that. That's going to be the offense, essentially. I like that. I can work off either hash. That's one of the cool things I like about most of these PE reads that I fixed or updated is you can work off either hash. You're not beholden to one hash or the other. Yeah, hold on, everybody. I gotta. Okay. Let's see. Next up, we got go over here. Let's go. P read is from gun. I wanted to pick a formation that has a halfback on the left side. This is one of them. There's QB choice. So this will probably one I would like to use, either that or gun two-back slot. I like that. Look pretty good. And gun spread. This is great. This would definitely be a staple of the offense. Gun trips. P read for sure. And then QB choice. So that's kind of what I'm thinking there. So I think what I'm going to do is back out and put in a couple different formations. Uncle Sam, there are a bunch of them, but I've narrowed it down to Buffalo or Temple that fit my criteria. Let's put it that way. Yeah, we can go ahead and save it. That's fine. We'll go here. And let's go back to here. We'll go here. I'm going to switch these two out. So I got to move everything up. That's what I got to do. I got to... trip, spread. I can probably do... I want this to be spread, not... I don't know. Bunch, tight. I don't need four wide sets. I need plenty of the 3. So there are the big 3 of the 11 personnels. We got 3 4 wide, 3 3 wide. And I need to switch out some stuff here. I'm going to put... I may put gun ace. I haven't done gun ace in forever. I think that'd be a neat one to do. Let's do gun ace. Let's see. Welcome in Gabriel and Topher. Gun. I don't need that many too. Okay, I think I know what I may do. Gun, I'm going to do gun tight right here. We're going to do gun bunch right there, and then gun trips over. We're going to have four wide sets, but technically I can use a double tight end set right there because I want to get some good tight ends, and I'm going to use them a whole lot more than I did in my last Dynasty. Tight, bunch, trips over, gun wide trips, gun normal, and then gun two back slot. The only reason I want to keep that in there is because this gives me another left-handed without having to flip formations per se. Have I done a max school yet? No. Well, I guess Murray State. Did I put them in the MAC? Is that what I done with them? But in terms of a long-term MAC, I mean, I had Yale. That was another one done years ago. I had them in the MAC. So technically, I've kind of done that. But it looks like we're going to do it again. Either that or Buffalo is in the MAC. Temple is independent. I'll probably keep them as independent until I get invited or something, which means I can really make my schedule as weird as I want. Yeah, I'm really excited about the 4-2-5. It's been too long. I think that's going to be my offense, and I can switch a couple around. I'll know which ones I really like, but I'm pretty sure all of these PE reads are going to be really good. So let me just save this. And I wish my Yale, I should have kept that Yale Dynasty going. I went, over 4 years, then I quit. I just got tired of it, and I shouldn't have done that. And what I'm going to do with this one, trying to run an RPO offense with really bad talent, it's going to be kind of tough, but that's okay. I don't want to try to scheme my way into getting touchdowns and whatnot, if that makes sense. I don't, not cheese it, but I don't want to go back to running power option and halfback direct just because my talent's so bad. So let's go to practice mode. Now let's full with Temple. We'll go Temple, and I'm going to go Temple here. If I can get to it. Go here. Do this, and that's fine. Lavera said it'll either be Buffalo or Temple. Just haven't really made up my mind. They're both about the same. Neither one has an advantage over the other, but in a couple of things. Just not really sure. I'm good with either one, honestly. Both of them look good. One's got a bigger stadium down the road. One's going to be tougher out of the gate, but it's got better recruiting. For example, what we saw earlier, Temple has 34 seniors. That'll be a crazy recruiting ordeal, but I'll be in Pennsylvania. Just a lot more easy to recruit there. So let me look at Gun Ace again. I just haven't used P. Reed, QB Choice. I think we'll stick with this again. I have fixed all of these plays, so I think I'm going to stick with that. It's just a formation I haven't used in forever. Gun two back slot. This is the only one I don't know if I'll keep or not. The only reason I want to keep it is because of... Ooh, I don't have... I just now thought of that. That's a right-handed. If you look, let me show you. Where's it at? This P. Reed, that's actually a right-handed. The halfback's on the right that you're doing the mesh point with. I didn't think about that. That's not even a lefty. For some reason, I thought it was a lefty, but it's not. Because if you use the triple option, that's still right-handed. So I think I'm going to take this one out and put something else in. It may have to be Gun Ace Twins, though. That way you'd keep everything one back look. I run audibles quite often. You just haven't been noticing, I guess. That and a lot of these plays are built where you don't have to call any audibles. But I may do some audibles in this one. And I've thought about doing like a hurry-up offense in a sense, so audibles will be more prevalent. With this one, I would just have to kind of wrap my head around which 5 do I want to make my mainstay and how often do I want to use quick audibles. So I'm going to probably get rid of gun two back slot and put in something else. But everything else, I think I'm ready to go with this. This is going to be the one formation I may not use as much because there's no QB choice. There's read option. There's PE read, and it's not even as good as before because I probably need to move that tight end to like a flat route or something. I just don't have QB choice, and it's kind of hard to put QB choice concept onto another run play in that playbook editor. It's just really tough. Things get wonky. But wide trips, yes. Trips over, yes. Gun bunch. Let me fool with this for a little bit. There's QB choice. And again, this quarterback cannot run to save his life. They're going man here. As you can tell, he is slower than Moses. But the PE read, let me look at this, and I can go in and update this if I felt like it. Yes, I have updated it. Nice. Good job, Al. Couldn't remember if I did or not. So we can do something like this. Oh, did he get stuck? Maybe he did. Oh, no, I haven't fixed it. I'll have to go back in and fix that. He is not an eligible receiver. That's why. Interesting. Okay. Did you notice what happens? I have a right-handed quarterback. This is something a little bit different. Notice this is like a left-handed PE read. But you notice something right here. Notice how it's a bit of a glitch with a right-handed quarterback. Notice how he kind of janks back to the right after that right there. Now he comes back really quick. It's really weird. No color on the field, blank end zones, and the white text. Is that what it looked? Oh yeah. My bad. That wasn't even showing for whatever reason. There's a little bit of red in the end zone. It's just simple temple, whatnot. Yeah, there's a little bit of red. But as you can notice, the left, if you've got a right-handed quarterback and you're running like a left-handed PE read like this, it's just got a little bit of a hitch. It's not bad or anything. That's a whole lot of fun right there running that play. 6 points. But it's not a big deal by any means. Let's see. Okay. Let me go here. Again, I may have to update this play just to give that extra halfback something to do. But I will probably keep that in there. What I want to do is go gun tight. So there is P read. I assume QB choice is in there, and it is. And I'm going to do a lot of regular play action, too. I think it just fits well with the offense. Do like P wide receiver in, for example. I don't always have to do RPOs. We can do straight up play action. I'm going to get sacked. Let's see, they're going man here. Let's see if we can try this again. Fixing to get sacked. Can I get that? Nice. Can you purchase something to create my own plays? On your way, I can purchase something to create my own plays. No, not that I can think of. You don't buy my playbook editor files are free, unless you're talking about something else that I'm not aware of. The only thing I have to sell are my roster files for PS2 gamers and my the Vault, which is my file database. Yeah, this quarterback out of the gate's gonna be pretty decent. I mean, he's impact quarterback. He's slow, but that just means I could do a whole lot more RPOs with him, stuff like that. And spread trips, I think I'm good. I have no purpose for gun 5 wide. You can't do RPOs off of it. Otherwise, I think I'm good. I just got to figure out which one I want to roll with. Again, I'll figure that out in time. I need to make up my mind because I would like to post the first video tomorrow. It may have to be Saturday if I can't figure it out in time. Guess what time? It's 5:47. I got time. This is going to get picked off. Nope. They're going zone. Maybe I can go. My left tackle done a bad job on that one. Cover 0. We'll just go over the top. This is going to be a much harder offense because this run game is going to be much tougher because part of the offense will be halfback dive. And a halfback dive is a really good play. I'm glad I fixed it. This used to be halfback draw. But it's a whole lot harder than speed option. And I'm not going to use halfback direct. Everybody knows that one's just way easier. Okay, I think that's kind of my offense. I think I pretty much have that settled. And again, I may change out a formation or two during the Dynasty. So that's kind of it. I don't know what else I need to show you or anything. Again, it's just going to either be Buffalo or Temple. Let me go back and try something else here. Let me go back here. Let me do a P read. Let me bring it over here. It comes down to scheduling. If I'm going to go with Temple, I'll be in the independent area, which means I'll be controlling my own schedule across the board until I get invited to another conference, like the MAC may pick me up after year 1, something like that. Recruiting will be just a little bit harder, or a little bit easier. I know I'm going to lose like a ton of players that first year. And one thing we can look at right now, let's just go ahead and do that. I'm just going to go quit. We're going to look at the rosters more in depth for both of those. I know we looked at them a little bit earlier, but I went through it really quickly. See, how long have I been on here? Does this say on there? About 50 minutes. That's not too bad. I know that sounds like a short stream. There's nowhere else I got to be, though. No, there isn't unless you use the new Next ISO mod, which means, Zach, that I won't recruit in season until I get up to a 3-star program. So that's going to be another challenge. Yeah, let's see. When am I starting this, Rolando? Tonight or tomorrow. The first video for it will be up this weekend at the latest. So where was I going to go? I was going to go somewhere. Rosters, that's it. Let me go here. Let's go to Temple first. And just so we're clear, again, there's a ton of seniors. So let me just look at the quarterbacks really quick. We know we got the senior quarterback, the pocket passer. The dude got the 76 speed guy. Maybe that's what's his face was talking about earlier. 70 overall. But this guy, he's just way too good. I would redshirt. Oh, yeah. Do you remember this kid? Remember we took on Temple, last season or the season before? He's the really big guy that's got the 94 number. That's him. Oh, that's pretty cool. That would be really weird to have him running my offense. That's pretty cool, though, one way or the other. That's, yeah, neat. Halfback. Senior, sophomore. I would redshirt one of these two guys. I don't need both. I would just redshirt one of them, probably this guy or whoever. It doesn't really matter. That would probably be what I would do there. Don't have to worry about fullbacks. They're not going to really be a part of the offense. Wide receiver. Daryl, I have no... yes, I could create my own school, but I'm perfectly fine with the schools that are in here. I'm all fine with that. Wide receiver, they got plenty of dudes. They're all about average. Nothing great, but there's plenty of them, like a ton. And they only got 2 of them are seniors. These 2 guys right here. Again, I can maybe redshirt one if needed. Tight end, they're all pretty slow. We'll have to recruit that really hard. Tackle, 84, 80, 68, 65, 65. Just typical dudes. You know, their guards aren't all that great. That's going to be a problem. Centers, they got way too many centers. I'd have to move somebody over eventually. Let's see, was there a wide receiver with some good speed about him? Yes, there was. And he's a true sophomore. I put him in the slot. Do a lot of good RPO stuff with him. Some nasty stuff. Oh, and that reminds me, I got to show you guys something here in a little bit with some of my RPOs with that. Let me go here. Nothing at defensive end. They got 2 decent guys. Look, I would have no defensive ends. And if I'm going to stick with my rule of not moving down linebackers, then this position would just need all the help in the worst way. I'd have to bring in at least 4 or 5 defensive ends, and that'll be quite the challenge, especially as a 1-star school. Defensive tackle, 3 get seniors. They got those 2. Senior there. Just okay. Junior, senior, sophomore, senior. Middle linebacker, senior, freshman. Corner. Gee whiz, they got 5 corners that are seniors, and one of them that is not. But thankfully, if you notice, none of these guys are redshirted, so I can redshirt some of these guys just to bring a couple back for next season. I'm going to have to if I go roll with Temple. Okay, a free safety. He's a junior, which is nice. And this would be some work that would need to be done for the future. Kicker, they got a redshirt sophomore and the senior. It's good to have backups, but do you need that many? So that is it for Temple. It kind of gives me a rough idea of kind of what to expect. But again, this is the kicker. That, again, everybody needs to understand, I'm still using my newly modded ISO. It's not the full Next ISO, but it's a modded ISO where I got the transfer stuff built in. So that first year, I'm going to have a bunch of transfers coming in to help us out, and it'll be like that every single season. Just trying to make it more like what it is in real life. Let me go over to Buffalo. Take a drink of water. And we look at Buffalo here. Look at their quarterbacks. Wanted to send some Florida apparel and a flag. What address do I send it to? Just kidding. No, yeah, don't. Yeah, please don't. So let's go quarterback. Awful. There's just nothing here. So this will be harder out of the gate. I would have to recruit this, I mean, very quickly. Honestly, it almost got to the point where I'd probably play this guy more if I wanted to run the ball more. But if I want to do RPOs, you look at their throw and pass. I want to look at their accuracy. These three guys all look about the same. There's really not a difference between the three. Either way, a much tougher situation that first season. Halfback, they got an impact guy. That'll help some. I guess it'll dictate if I'm going to throw to him a little bit more, do more dives and what have you. But he's their backup, technically. They got four guys that are all kind of the same. They're all red-shirted, too. Not a bad situation, though. They're all just kind of there, and they all would come back. Fullback, I would never use this guy, unfortunately, but he's a senior, junior, freshman. Look how big these two guys are. 6'1", 270 for both. I'd almost put him like at guard or something, or center. So I'd have to do some recruiting stuff there. Look at wide receiver. Really no different than the Temple one, except not as much talent overall. A little bit more top end. Speed, there's nothing there. Like, our fastest wide receiver is 88 speed. 76, 72, 70. So, yeah, I guess Temple's got better receivers. Tight end, this looks no different than Temple. All of them are very slow. This guy's decent, but he's more of a blocking tight end. Brian Watson, is he one of the fullbacks? Oh, this kid right here. Yes, you're right. So I did not think about this. 6'2", if you look at some of these, this kid right here, for example, Brian Watson, 6'5", 225. In our offense, we need speed in the worst way at tight end. So this guy would transition well to tight end. That's a good find there, Zach. I'm glad you picked that out. Yeah, whenever they get around to doing it. And I just don't have, I can't just sit around and wait for them to get that updated. I've been talking to one of the guys who helps out with the mod, and they're just not ready for the update yet. So I'll just wait until the next Dynasty and use it. 72, but yes, this guy would definitely be a good tight end for us. Even out of the gate, I can use formation subs and actually the depth chart itself and just put him there. For example, you go over the depth chart. Quarterbacks like that, but wouldn't have any backups halfway decent trying to transfer. So let me think. For that, backups halfway decent trying to transfer. Well, that's the thing. I mean, I'm going to use my modded ISO that's going to have the immediate transfer stuff. So out of the gate, I mean, I'm going to have some transfers going to come in that's going to help us out. Does that seem unfair, Matthew? I mean, you just kind of let me know. I mean, again, I'm not trying to make a god mode out of this Dynasty or anything. It's going to be a challenge, me doing enough limitations with my recruiting and whatnot. But you look over here at tight end, and there is Watson. They got him as a 65 at tight end, but still, that wouldn't matter much to me. He's got the speed, and he should be able to catch at least a little bit. So that would be a good move right there for sure. Let me go back to Buffalo. Don't know why I switched over to Temple. Tight end. Look at their offensive line. Tackles, just really no different than what Temple had. Guard, a little bit better. They got one guy that's decent, but again, he's a senior. So we'll have him for a year, and he'll be gone. This is really bad. This is going to be a shotgun-only offense, and you need really smart centers so you don't have as many high snaps. Defensive end, a little bit better situation, but their top three guys are all seniors, and they'll all be gone, so we'll just get to enjoy them for a season, and then we'll have to start the whole recruiting process over for natural defensive ends. Again, I'm going to recruit natural defensive ends in this next one. Defensive tackle, we got a ton of them. A lot of these guys probably don't need to be defensive tackle, like this kid right here. 6'2", 263. It's too small to play 260. Like, these guys are super small. I need more guys like that, but more talented, of course. Outside linebacker, they're all just kind of there. Middle linebacker, one decent one, but again, he's a senior. It's a big drop-off from those. Corner, two decent ones. Now, one thing you got to understand with the 4-2-5, once I have my talent in place for the defense, I won't use any other formation other than like goal line. 4-2-5, I'm going to use that against bigger sets, spread sets. It's for everything. So I don't need a ton of cornerback depth, like 5 at the most on the roster. 2 starters, 2 backups, and somebody that I can redshirt. Setting, I don't think it's cheating, but you could hit a gym. I don't have any limitations with athletes because you're taking a chance on them. I'll get them whatever I can. If I get lucky and one of them turns out to be good at a particular position, I'll go after them. So there's no limitations on the athletes. The only recruiting limitation I'm doing right now is program prestige to talent. 1-star program, meaning 1-star recruits. 5-star program, 5-star and below recruits. Free safety, this is going to be a really bad problem. A whole lot worse than what Temple's got. But at least we got bodies at strong safety, and all 3 of these guys are coming back. And I guess strong safety is the most important position for the 4-2-5. I mean, it's as equal as defensive tackles and corners and whatnot. But at least we got bodies here, and they would all come back. So out of the gate, I could run 4-2-5 exclusively with them. And they got 2 kickers, and they got a punter. So I'm good with either one. Again, I can just make up my mind later. I'm fine either way. Long term, it makes more sense, I guess, with Temple, maybe, just because of the bigger stadium. That's the only thing else I can think of. Plus, you got your schedule. Independent, I can make it as easy or as hard as I want, and I can come up with a couple rules for that. So we'll just see. I don't know. I'll figure it out. At least I kind of know what I want to do. Just got to pick the team and roll with it. Temple. Yeah, it seemed like most people would want to do Temple. Philly, say Buffalo has a good, strong safety depth. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. Anyway, all right. Anybody else have any questions for me? I could stay on for like another hour or so. I just didn't know how long this would take. Because, again, I didn't want to go through the FCS stuff. I just don't want to do that right now. Temple. Okay, I will say this, and Zach made a good point. One of my favorite meals is a Philly cheesesteak. Like, don't get me started. I could talk about Philly cheesesteaks for days on end. I actually just had one for supper. Wow, oh, geez, that's kind of like an omen. Oh, I didn't think about that. Oh my gosh. See, with you not controlling them, can we get an early season Tulane record? Can we get an early season Tulane? You have to explain prediction. This is a new Dynasty file I'm going with, Matthew. Show us the slot stuff. Yes, I'm glad you mentioned that. I completely forgot. So here's what I was going to talk about earlier. Really cool with some of this RPOs. Let me go to, like, Temple, since we're right here. We'll go Temple. We'll go up against Tulane. That's fine. Let's see. Yes, I think that is a sign. I literally just had a Philly cheesesteak from Subway. It was okay. It was just average. It wasn't the best, but it was close and local and convenient. Would you make the schedule since it's in? Yes, I would control the entire schedule since them being independent. Here's what I was going to show you. What's a good example? If we go, gun spread is a good example. Let's look at P.E. Reed. Now, I got 2 short side zone beaters. I got my flare route with the halfback, and I got a flat with this right slot receiver. This slot receiver running a flat route against man is really nasty when it's on the strong side of the field. So I'm going to go P. Reed, and if you go up against, I guess a nickel would be a good one. Well, let's do a 4-3. That might make it more simple. Let me go and let me pick a different defensive play. Let me go here, 4-3. Let me go cover 2 man. Hopefully that'll work. We'll see. I don't know if this will work or not. Let me see. He's already motioned over. So what I probably need to do is pick, go with like a cover, this crash gold perhaps. So here you have this situation right here where, again, I'm on the left hash and I have this flat route as a killer man beater. This safety is going to defend him, and it takes him a little bit to get over there to cover him. And this RPO is essentially, it's a play action play. And it stalls the defense just a little bit until you get out of that play action movement. So watch what happens, and I hope this works, when I just go to this guy right here. Look how wide open he was. You got to throw it quick, but it's all dependent on the situation at the time. But he was just wide open because that safety can't get over there fast enough. Is it cheating to test out? Oh, okay, we can try that now. That's a good point. Which one is he? I need him. We're going to put him in this slot right here. We'll go right here. Is he Shelton? I want him over Martin. We'll do something like that. So we got him in the slot right there. Okay, so let's try this again. There you go. See what I'm talking about right there? Again, because this particular situation, I have a safety on this slot receiver. It could have been the linebacker. If that linebacker was going to come over, I probably wouldn't throw to him. You have to read him post-snap. But in this situation, I pretty much know that safety is going to come down. Now, we know in this situation, that's what the case is because that's the play that I selected. But anytime you have this situation right here, and just watch him stall. Look, I'm still doing my PA read look, and this safety is still just kind of sitting there. He doesn't really know what to do yet. And then, once I get out of the PA read movement, look at him. He's still slowing down. And now he finally decides to go after that slot receiver. That's killer right there. That is what I'm talking about right there. Really nasty if you can pull it off. Something like this. And just like that, you can get some instant reads off that. Just really nasty. I have that same thing in, not, is it gun? It ain't gun bunch. I'm going to have to fix that later. Is it here? Let me look at my P read. No, that's not it. Is it this one? This one is it as well. So let's go 4-3. Okay, exact same situation right here. Oh, he stopped. I don't know why he stopped. But look how wide open he was right there. We can call it the Philly cheese. Yeah, I'm sure some people, once I have success with it twice, people are going to call it cheese play. But yeah, either way, really cool looking play. I think that'll work really well. So that's the slot thing I was talking about earlier. I don't have it for here. I wish you could do it with halfbacks on those flare routes, but you can't. I have it here. I don't know if I'm going to keep this particular play. But we can call this one again. Oh, Bill Cosby. Oh, that's low. There we go. Something like that. Really nasty. It's just a quick way to pick up 7 to 8 yards if the defense is in a certain coverage. It all comes down to that right there. So that's what that slot receiver thing I was talking about. Let's see. Yeah, so that's what that was. I'm glad you mentioned that. I almost forgot to talk about it. Other than that, I can go with Temple. I go with Buffalo. Both of them they're kind of the same thing. Just one's got a little bit different schedule than the other one. That's really it. I guess these are the better uniforms. They're more modern, I should say. Just a little bit different. That is correct. Bill Cosby's alma mater. For sure. Go over here. Oh, that's just nasty. Again, that's a post-snap read, because technically you don't know who's on him until you snap the ball. As a backup QB, yeah, that's right. He would be my... Ooh, we can try that, by the way. Let me go to practice strategy. Let's put in Simpson. We'll go out here. Let me go there. Let's do QB choice. If I can select it. There we go. We'll do this. And we can run some reps here. Why is he not in there? Did I pick the wrong one? I picked the wrong one. What in the world? I want Simpson. There we go. Don't know what happened there. Okay, much better. They're bringing everybody and their brother. I have to do it. Yeah, nothing I can do there. Let me go over here. Having a 250-pound quarterback does sound pretty cool. Let's try this right here. There we go. A little bit better. So imagine seeing that coming down. Phew. Just running the over and such. That'd be pretty wild. Zone spreading out. I could do something like this. I shouldn't have juked. That was my fault. Do something like this. I wonder how strong he is. He probably isn't very strong. Come out. Pretty cool looking play. Nice little 5-yard gain for the keeper. So that's going to be a lot of the offense. QB draw, or QB choice, halfback dive, halfback off tackle, RPOs, and then drop back across from that. I can throw in some screens as well. I don't have a ton of screens. Yeah, I guess I do. That could be part of the offense. That's still considered pretty modern. Go over here. That'd be a good goal line play. Come over here. Good throw. You know. So that'll be part of the drop back game, I should say. Fixing to get sacked. Going man again. Fixing to get sacked. Going man. Let me go over here and see if this works. Yeah, it's not too bad. Zach, you liking the Temple guys? They're different. I didn't see anybody that... I mean, the only one that's really stood out to me from Buffalo was that one guy who mentioned the wide receiver that could play tight end. I don't think I got any receivers that could play tight end. They're all really small, which is fine. High snap. And a fumble. Somebody get it. I'm going to have to run away with this one. Oop. Go over here. Okay. There's not much else I need to discuss other than I'll just pick a team and roll with it. Other than... again, I can go with either one. Anything else anybody want to talk about? I can talk about whatever. Again, I've only been on streaming for an hour and 12 minutes. I can go for another 30 at least. I just don't know what else to really talk about because I've kind of figured out what I wanted to do. At least I've got it down to 2 teams at least. And somebody TM for the PS3 Dynasty recently, and that made me appreciate the older games. Yeah, it's just different. Yeah, the PS3 games, I think the gameplay is just not as good. How's my week going? Not bad. Work has been very busy, but I'm ready for tomorrow to come up. It being Friday and whatnot. Where did learn all of your football knowledge outside of the games? I've just been a football nut ever since I was little. Just watched it and studied it. Just do a lot of reading. You ought to see can you see it on... Yeah, you can see it on my webcam. This is I don't have a whole lot of books. I do a lot of my studying online now. But you may not see it. I got my 4th row down. I've got... No, it's the 3rd one. It's one of those. Yeah, it's that row right there. I got like 30 plus football books that I've picked up over the years. But again, now I'm doing nothing but online reading. There's so much content out there. YouTube, articles. There's so much to learn. And you can find it. It's all relatively cheap or free, to say the least. Also, who's one of your most memorable... which one's my most memorable? Oh, gosh. There's a ton. I mean, I've done so many dynasties before I even started my channel. I can think of players that were memorable, but dynasties, there's a bunch that I've really enjoyed. Who's my GOAT players in college football, like all time or this year or what? It looks cool. Football nerd too. I didn't know if you ever coached. No, I've never coached. I can't coach college. You kind of have to know the right people and be in it. I've never done that before, and I don't want to ever coach high school. I don't like kids enough. No offense. I don't think I would enjoy it. My Hawaii Dynasty was a whole lot of fun. I just goofed up and exited the file or exited the emulator when I was trying to save it. Just don't ever do that. Just made a mistake. I felt so bad that day when it happened because we was close to winning another title too. But either way, I gotta pick a team. I need to just pick one and roll with it. Again, they both are like exact same to me. That's that big kid. Let's see. He was probably Troy Petty was probably the all-time college GOAT players. There's a bunch of really good ones out there. I can sit there for hours and talk about which ones. Troy Petty was the best quarterback. He probably was. Talent-wise, he probably was. He wasn't my favorite quarterback ever. I wrote a post about this a couple of years back about like my 3 favorite or most memorable players ever in dynasties, and I had an old Duke dynasty. That was the first dynasty I ever ran like a spread option offense. That was right when Urban Meyer was really kicking it in gear in Florida. And I ran his offense at Duke, and I picked up a 4-star athlete, Aaron Brazil. Just an absolute stud of an athlete. He's a lot like Stuckey, but not as fast. Had a little bit better arm, maybe. I don't know, but he just made plays for me. It just stuff like that you just never forget. Won a couple titles with him. I'd say Buffalo, get them the championship. The Bills never could. Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, I didn't think about that. I just remember somebody has so many quarterbacks with speed in it. They're a bunch. In your opinion, and I've done. What was your most dangerous? Tom. Oh, well, I'm a Tennessee fan. I guess I'm biased. I think Peyton. I always thought he was better, but both of them are amazing quarterbacks. Don't get me wrong. I thought Tom Brady had more talent around him, especially on defense. You know, he had a really good coach with it. It's a team sport. I know people want to compare players, but it's a team effort, man. There's just so much involved, especially with football. It takes a lot of people to get things going in the right direction, not just one guy. Do I prefer pocket passers or scrambling quarterbacks? I mean, scrambling quarterbacks makes it easier as long as they can pass well. How does that sound? I know that's kind of cavalier in the question. I enjoy, when all is said and done, all things being equal, my favorite thing to do with any of these football games is pass the ball. I just enjoy it. I don't know why. I just like going to the practice. But even for games I don't really care for, like NCAA 14, any of the PS3 games, even Madden 23, I got my PS5 sitting over here. When I play a little Madden 23, the first thing I do is I go into practice mode and just rep a bunch of pass plays for 2 hours. That's what I enjoy the most. So I guess when all things being equal, I like the pocket passers. I'm thinking about my Indiana dynasty. That was an air raid offense. I called it was the Al raid, I should say. I had a blast just throwing the ball 50 times a game in that one. And I was shattering records. It was just a lot of fun. So I guess I prefer pocket passers. In terms of video game stuff, I probably like them, but I take either one. I mean, I have success with both. Let's see. You should run a poll and see what it says. See what's... Oh, you talk about team, Zach. Okay, I assume that's what you're referring to. Yeah, I feel like Tom had more to work with. Feel he needs a comeback after that Super Bowl. Let's see. Jinx the Eagles with that purple church dress. Lord, I watched the 4th quarter of the Super Bowl. I wasn't very hyped up to watch it because I knew I'm a big Bengals fan, and I'm not a fair weather Bengals fan. I started keeping up with them way before they drafted Burrow, and I feel like the refs have been helping out the Chiefs a lot the last couple games. Let's put it that way. I think the Buffalo one would be a pretty cool one too. I like, honestly, just between the two. And again, what was the first thing that we looked at when I started this video? The first thing I want to look at was their uniforms. I just like the look. I mean, if I'm going to be in a dynasty 6 years, 7 years with a team, I want to like what they look like. I got to stare at them for game in and game out. And if I don't like the way they look, I kind of lose interest after a while. So that was one of the things I liked about Buffalo. I think they just look really slick. I just like that look to them. But Temple's uniforms look pretty good too, don't get me wrong. Let's see. The refs helped the Chiefs, my Jags too, but that's another reason why I didn't watch much of the Super Bowl. And what didn't happen on that last drive for the Chiefs? They got a holding call. It's convenient, but that's neither here nor there. They got a killer team, and it's whatever. Does conference matter to you or rivalries? You talk about in terms of like what I'm going to do with this recent dynasty, because that's going to be the biggest difference out of the gate between Buffalo and Temple. One's going to be in the MAC. I'm in the conference out of the gate, which I don't mind. I like being in conferences. You're playing for something. That's a downside to being an independent. You're not playing for anything. You're just winning games. Independent, there's nothing to shoot for except winning game. I like shooting for trophies. I want to win trophies. I want to win that. That's a great goal to have. I want to be the best in the conference. In past independent dynasties with Yale, with Murray State, I would get invited to a conference after like that first year. So I never stuck with an independent team. I never kept them as an independent team. Let's put it that way. Let's see. Temple scheduling freedom starting out. Some players with some attributes. Philly cheesesteak. Yeah. Let's see. So then Temple would be good. Yeah, both of them just have their advantages. It would take me a lot longer to figure out how I want to do my schedule. I'd have to come up with I think the last time I done it was I kept it simple. For every, whatever my program prestige was, that's how many ranked teams I had on the schedule. So if I had a 6-star program as an independent, I would have 6 ranked games on my schedule. And then after that, I guess I could keep adding and adding and adding. Would you move Temple to a conference or keep them independent? See, that's the thing. Every time I do an independent team, I end up throwing them in a conference just because I enjoy being in a conference, I guess. I think I kind of agree with Zach. I think Buffalo is going to be just a little bit tougher because of recruiting. It's just tough. There's just not as many good kids in New York as there are in Pennsylvania. Even though Pennsylvania's right beside me, I'll recruit it hard. It just costs more recruiting points to go after those players. What are the odds of us having more snow in Buffalo than Philadelphia? I figured we'd have more, but that's probably the same in this game, I would guess. No love, Notre Dame, they all can. I can't stand Notre Dame. We'll just leave it at that. I hope they lose every game they play. And see, that'd be the other thing. I don't know if with the scheduling with Temple, would I have to throw in one of the other independent schools? I'd still like to play with Notre Dame just so I can beat them. If you choose Buffalo, you got to schedule Temple just for the storyline. Yeah, just play them all the time. I've definitely put them on the schedule. I'd put Tulane doesn't matter anymore since I'd be starting a new Dynasty file. Who would be? What would be curious is I don't know. Would the Big Ten pick me up? That's one thing. If I get to that level, I don't want to force Buffalo into a bigger conference like I did with Tulane. I felt like I had no choice because I won a national title with Tulane. They'd had no business being stuck in Conference USA at that point. Plus the other independents. Okay, let's see. If you choose, play the other independents if you choose Temple. I can do that. I don't know if I want to play Air Force and Navy. Just running that triple option would drive me nuts over and over again. Oh my gosh. Can't stand going up against that type of offense. It's tough. In this game, it's tough. I tried NCAA 10 on the PS2 and it was terrible. Oh yeah, it's awful. Oh, anything beyond 06, you're going to have some problems. 07 is not as bad. That's where it just starts getting bad. Let's just put it that way. How likely are you to start the fast quarterback year 1? I don't have any fast quarterbacks. You look right here. It'd have to be year 2 before I get a running quarterback at Buffalo, at least. Well, I know. I take this back. No, I forgot. We got DeJuan Hemingway. He's a 76. Now, you got to look. All these guys right here are all kind of the same. Yes, 74 overall. Then you got a 68. That is a difference. But that's only because this guy's got a little bit better awareness. But that speed goes a long way. So I could play him out of the gate if I wanted to. I would have no problem starting him right out of, because none of these guys are worthy enough to be like, oh, you got to start him. It's a given. I don't have to. All these guys look kind of average to terrible to me. So Hemingway has the one advantage of the speed. Now, is his arm... Now, here's the thing. This arm, 84 in the throwing power and 78. See, look, his throwing accuracy, 80, 76, 78, 78. That's just as good as any of these guys. His throwing power isn't all that great, but a lot of my RPOs is going to be that flat stuff. I want to hit the post over the middle against cover 2 zone and cover 0, hit the crossing ground, just whatever's open at the time. But his throwing accuracy is no different than these other ones, so it's not like there's a disadvantage. But the reason why he's a 68 overall is because, again, his awareness is dreadful. But awareness doesn't mean much because you are the awareness, you are the quarterback. So there's that, at least. And he's a freshman, yeah. He's a young pup. This offense, honestly, going forward, I would be recruiting a bunch of dual threat guys. Just because I want to, my run game is going to be a lot of read option. I want to make that the staple of the run game. And I need a running quarterback to do a little bit of that. So that's, and pocket passers could work with the RPOs, especially throwing and whatnot. But again, this is going to be like a balanced offense. I'm going to gear it towards my good players, of course. And it's got the impact running back right there, Chris McDuffie, which is a great name, by the way. I would probably, yeah, I can't redshirt none of these guys except for that one right there. So yeah, there's that. Awareness means a lot under pressure. If I guess, but honestly, you still control the quarterback. It's still you. You are the awareness. I've never seen much difference there. Now, I've seen CPU quarterbacks break tackles and whatnot just because they're an impact player. But impact quarterbacks are probably going to have good awareness anyways. So he would probably be my starting quarterback, Hemingway would. Just because, give me a little speed. Again, I don't want, if I didn't start him, my entire run game would be halfback dive, halfback off tackle, and then my RPOs, of course. So that would probably what happen. He's a righty quarterback. I don't have any lefties, do I? It's been forever since I've recruited lefty quarterbacks. The impact guy and this tight end, this wide receiver, I'd play him some at tight end. These would be my top 3 receivers, and I would put him at tight end. That would work out pretty well. That offensive line is rough. He's a senior and he's a senior. Whew. And again, the hardest part of all this, it doesn't matter which team I go with, is this whole one-star recruiting deal. This first year, I better hope I can win enough to get up to 2 stars so I can go after 2-star players. Decent pocket quarterback with a fast receiver, the backup yes, and the Buffalo speedy QB, impact running back, and wide receiver. Yeah, that's kind of what it comes down to. And scheduling. Because again, I think I would eventually want to put Temple to a conference anyways. I could keep him as independent forever. I just enjoy going after conference titles. It just means more to me. You should do Buffalo. I love the logo. I like it better than the Temples. I'll go ahead and tell you that right now. I want to test out. Why you mention that? See, this is what I go through whenever I pick a new team. I just go through all the teams, kind of know what I'm looking for, narrow it down to a few, and just pick one, and then roll with it. I'm going to go here. I'm going to do a night game, and we're going to do hard. It says rain or snow. Temp. Okay, we're going to have to go 0 degrees. I'm going to do something like that. We'll do a yes. This will be interesting. I completely forgot you could change the weather in practice mode. So I'm hoping we're going to see a lot more snow in the future Dynasty. It doesn't matter which team I go with either. I think both of them are going to see some snow. I can schedule Notre Dame every year regardless. I don't have to be an independent to play them, that's for sure. Oh, this will be really weird. Oh my gosh. So what I wanted to check was... let me go... Yeah, I mean, in the end, Temple, I'll end up probably moving them anyways once I get invited. Now, I'm going to go strategy, go here. I wanted to go Watson. Upshaw. We'll put Upshaw here like it really matters. We'll do something like that. And I'm going to do something like this. And yeah, I'm glad you said he's a backup. I'm going to go here. He's not even the 4th. Wow, they got him down right there. Gee whiz. There we go. Oops, went the wrong way. Picked the wrong guy. That's okay. It's been so long since I've seen a snow game. Look at this. Weird. It looks really good on my emulator. I just now thought about that. The emulator. I just did not think about what this would look like this. That looks pretty cool, having this heavy snow and whatnot. MAC, Big East, ACC, plenty of options. Again, I've got it down to Buffalo and Temple. Oh, in terms of getting invited to a bigger conference, Buffalo may get invited to the Big East. My guess it'd be the Big Ten, if I had to guess. I think the uniforms look a little bit better on Buffalo than the new Temple. That's just me, though. I don't know. That's a really good-looking color of blue. That quarterback, he's very brave for... Oh, speaking of brave, quarterbacks, I need to switch out. Let's put in Hemingway in there. What I wanted to show was that tight end. Let me see. Let's see if he can do something. There's the tight end, the wide receiver / tight end. That's him right there. Going to get sacked. May get a touchdown. Maybe not. Really cool. Okay, so I got Hemingway in here. I want to go QB choice. Let's go up against nickel for now. That's fine. Man. Probably hand this one off. Get up the field here. That excites me right there. Just doing a lot of that all the time. Man. He's probably no, he is probably double covered. Do something like this. Let's go man again. I may keep this. Good defense. I love the direction of the offense. That's for sure. I love just doing a mesh read, P reads, the QB choice stuff. Somebody get a block on that linebacker. Nope, that ain't going to happen. Oh my gosh, he died. Gave him the clothesline from hell. Good old wrestling talk. Don't get me started on wrestling. I could talk about that forever. They're going man. We can do something like this. Get around. He's got a little bit of speed to him. He's nothing special. What was the 74 speed? Something like that. Probably should have kept that. They're going man. Probably go over here. So this is the offense. It's going to be a lot of this. A lot of RPOs, some dropbacks, some screens, and that's kind of it. So what about my discipline? I mean, discipline is a factor in every dynasty. Because I'll go ahead and show you this. You talk about rhinos, you talk about discipline. It changes. For some reason, I feel like it changes every dynasty when you start it. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. For example, we can start... Let's start a dynasty just for the test purposes. If we went with Temple, doesn't really matter. Let's just go yes. If you're going to want me to see do more tight end stuff, it'd have to start out with Buffalo. They got that's my only option at this point until I recruit better players. Let me hurry this up. Here's what I was going to show you. We look at the discipline side. Where do we go? Go over to coach options. No. Rosters. Program standards. If it'll get to it. See, in the past, it just depends. I think they just switch it up every dynasty, every 5. I don't know why it does that. This isn't consistent. So out of the gate, Temple's not bad. But if you go over to Buffalo, it may be higher or lower. So kind of remember where these are at. So here's Buffalo, about the same. Okay. Now we can test this again. I'm going to back out. I'm going to go no. And we're going to do this again. And watch, it may be different. Yeah, Rhinos. Now, in the past, I remember Temple had terrible discipline once. It may have been one of my older dynasties. That's probably what you're thinking of. Oh, yes. User play. Oh, yeah. I mean, I can talk about the other games ad nauseum. Yes, especially at 10 and 11. EA got lazy with those later games. Let's put it that way. It was a bunch of 5-star wide receivers and quarterbacks, and that was kind of it. It may have been my Yale Dynasty. That's what it was. Because yes, that is right, William. If you remember, I substituted Temple with Yale, and I took their bad discipline. So I'm going to go new. We'll just select Tulane. That's fine. Doesn't matter which ones I select. And watch, it'll switch over again. It may be different. So let's go over to rosters. Go to program standards. If you go over to... okay, we'll go to Buffalo first. That stays the same. For some reason, I thought it would switch on you. And it still is the same. Okay, maybe, I don't know what I was thinking. Maybe it was due to rosters. I was using a different roster file then. But you can tell it looks like it didn't change at all between both of them. So it looks like both teams are going to have decent discipline out of the gate. So it's not going to be a bad situation, I don't think. So I just wanted to point that out. But for some reason, I thought it switched all the time, just random. But I guess it didn't. So I learned something. 07, its biggest problem is it's very easy. The CPU is just dreadful. The momentum meter messes things up for you. Jump to snap is bad. Other than that, it's got some cool things. It's got better playbooks. Just 07 in general, just, yeah. If 06 didn't exist, I'd probably play 07. But again, I got frustrated with the game after I was just blowing everybody out. And the CPU quarterbacks could barely put up 100 yards a game. Couldn't do anything. It was just dreadful to watch, and I just didn't really enjoy it. So, people like 07, that's fine. I'm not one of them. I just think 06 is way better. Let me go back to practice mode. Let's see. Could be a... Let's see. The turnovers kill. Yeah, turnovers are pretty bad. Now, I've had some games in 06 where there are a lot of turnovers, but it's more consistent in 07 and beyond. And a lot of that thanks to the momentum meter. Plus, I think they were really big on the big hits. That was another thing. There are a lot more big hits in 07, which means there are a lot more fumbles. I guess they didn't take that to effect when they really made that a significant feature. I'm going to go back here. Keep bringing the questions and whatnot. I can talk about this stuff all day. I'm going to go new. I'm going to go this. I'll do this. Picks, player models, behind picked off. Yeah, I gave up on the PS3 games altogether. They're just not for me. Just modern textures, but modern teams. Right, I don't have any of Coastal. I don't have any of them in here. I'm not using a Created School. I don't know. I think the Next Mod has some of those in there. I don't know if they took out team. I don't know how that works, honestly. But no, I don't have Coastal Carolina in there or things like that. Have you considered instantly Next Mod setup video? They're already out there. I'm not very good. One of my weaknesses is video editing. I could probably make it look decent, but I find it really tedious. And there are already, I mean, the next guy's already done a video for that. I don't know how I can make that better. Gerald, I would love to. It'd probably get plenty of views. But people keep saying they don't like that video. I thought it was fine. I still had problems trying to create the mod myself. But it's not because of the video. It's just because it's a very detailed process to get that ISO to work. And I'm not very good at it. Let's see. Have you been experimenting with the new playoff beta? They're in there. Again, I don't have the Next Mod, so ISO, so no, I don't. I would use it now, but they don't have the updated one yet. I'd rather use the updated one because it's got some playbook stuff I want to start using that they're tinkering with. I think they're going to add a couple formation slots, and I'm helping Josh out with a couple back-end things there. I'm not really going to talk about any of that, kind of keeping that under wraps. But since they don't have that really ready to go, I'll just wait till the next Dynasty and use it. Let me see here. Let me switch out my dudes here. I think I may go with Buffalo. I just kind of like some of what they got here. Again, there's not much to work with, but it's there. We'll do something like that. Again, I'm northeast. That's kind of what my plan was. I've done a lot of stuff out in the West Coast before. Let me go here. Let me try something. Again, I'm not using the Next Mod or the ISO. I'm using the default 05, but with a couple little mods in it, but nothing with updated stuff. So let me look here. I think I may roll with Buffalo. I think it's going to be a little bit more of a challenge. And I just like their uniforms better. I just think it looks cooler. That's just me. Zone. I don't know if I can hit this guy over the middle. Nope. Can't do that. Pick that thing right off. Plus, they got the gray uniforms in here, too, as a good alternate. Go over here. Just squeeze through, pick up 5. I want to stay here. I want to go QB choice. Zone. Do something. Get a block right there. Good block. Get a block right there. Good block. Good block. Good block. The tree. Yeah, I think it'll be different. Yeah, it just especially the tight end. Let me fool around with that tight end some more. I don't know if it'll work. I can't do it from there. What about from here? PA. Let's try this P read. Zone. I'm not even looking. That shows I played this game way too much. I know who I was throwing to, and I knew when the time to throw. And I wasn't even looking at the screen because I was looking at my comments. That just shows you I played this game way too much. 09 Spring Gills made it was third into 95. Oh, wait, do I have him at the wide receiver spot? I thought I had him at tight end. Oh, he is. That's right. Why is he there? That's weird. That is really weird. We're going to do Watson right there. There we go. That should fix it. Get out of the way. Go over here. So I wanted to try. That's a zone. I'll have to go something like that. Ooh, that was almost picked. We're going zone. I got this on random defense. More zone. I want to try to hit that corner against man. That's my tight end. Wow, he really cuts over. Oh, there it is. Let's see if this will work. He may be too close. That's not the best throw. Let me bring this over here. Man, let's see if I can hit this corner out. Wow, he really cuts over, doesn't he? So the tight end's going to be heavily involved in this offense. I'm ready for that to happen, too. That's the one terrible throw out. That was awful. That was one of the biggest regrets I had with Tulane. I just didn't have my plays, hardly any set up for him to touch the ball a lot. And that was just my fault. But I had so many weapons. I mean, when you got 2 impact halfbacks, a quarterback that can run, 2 good receivers on the outside, I had bodies everywhere. I mean, it's like just take your pick. Went cover 4. I hit the wrong button. Oh, we still made the catch. Going zone again. We'll just go over here. Okay, I want to try the P read from here. He would be my main zone beater. We're going man. Sack. Let's try it again. We're going man. Good defense. I think I have that one cut too short. Route. Fixing to get sacked again. My offensive line ain't helping me out. My offensive line ain't helping me out at all. Let's try this again. Going man. Wow, I'm just getting eaten alive. They keep... When you're going in the practice mode and you're playing on random defense, they're going to throw this, the hardest stuff at you. Look at this. I had no chance on this one. That's because they were just blitzing all the way through. Here, let's try this again. All right, much better. Much, much better. Ooh, almost got picked. We're going man. Go over the top. That little guy is Dawson. Trying to hit my tight end again if I can. Something like this. But he'll be fun to throw to for sure. Maybe out of necessity starting off. Yeah, that's why I have him. Yeah. Just because I have no talent at tight end. This gets him on the field a little bit. He's kind of useless as a wide receiver because he's so slow. He's only got like 82 speed. But I don't have a whole lot of great talent to begin with at wide receiver. It's 82, 76, and then we're down to 72. It's just like it's slim pickings. So what this means is I would probably do a lot less 4 wide sets and a lot more 2 and 3 wide. Just so I don't have to play Wallace, for example. No offense to him. But this kid right here, David Dawson, doesn't need to be an outside receiver. He needs to be a number 3. So I'd like to put Kisbeth, if I can find him. Kissabeth? Where's he at? He's not even on there. Let me do that. There we go. I would do something like that. Put him out in the slot. And I'd go something like this. P. Reed. It would be, I don't know, I'd start off, probably put 1 or 2 ranked teams on the schedule. Well, with Buffalo, since they're going to be in the conference out of the gate. But with my role with an independent schedule, for every prestige star that I have, that's how many top 25 teams I'd put on there. So a 2-star program, I'm going to have 2 top 25 teams on there more than likely. Kissabeth, yeah, it's a great name. And they're going zone. Kissabeth with a great catch. Going, I don't know what they're doing here. Cover 1. Go over here. See, this will be a fun offense. I was doing a little bit of this with Tulane, but it was like an eighth of the offense. It wasn't a whole lot. We're going man, spreading out like this. Let's see if we can hit Baby Dawson. The little engine that could. He would be our little... He's not fast. He's not Givens that we had with Tulane, but he's little. If that means anything. Kissabeth. This is going to be a whole lot of fun, I can already tell. I'm kind of liking the players a little bit more from this one. I guess I'm getting more used to them. And I've just never done a New York Dynasty before. Dawson has something to him. He kind of reminds me of... Who was the little white quarterback? Oh, he's wide open. I was a little too late on that throw. Oh, good catch. I'm trying to think. Who was the little slot receiver for New England years ago? What's his name? Let's see if I can get him open. Ow, I forgot his name. Either way. Remember, you're a Vols fan. You're going to keep up with the baseball team? Oh, of course. I keep up with them every year, even before Votella was here. We're going to have an awesome season. We got a ton of All-Americans on our team. Edelman. Julian Edelman, that's his name. That's who he kind of reminds me of. Just a little bitty scat receiver. Hopefully he can catch a pass or 2. Wes Welker's another one. Yes, Welker. Both of them. They kind of kept the same mold. I feel like this team has just a little bit more unique players outside of... I don't have a backup quarterback that's 250 pounds, but... I'm getting sacked. I'm fixing to get sacked. Go about there. Ah. Okay, I am going to go QB choice. Gonna let me do it. There we go. Going man. Can't tell who's on who. We'll go this way. Ah, what was that? That was the weirdest fumble ever. Halfback dive. I would use dives as quick audibles, probably, like I've done. That was terrible on my part. Do something like this. See, this is a whole lot more fun to me than doing like halfback direct and speed option. Scramble out of danger, yes. And again, I can just run more read option with them, which is going to be huge for me. Can't tell who's on who. I can keep with him. Look at that. Look at that little play. And that's going to be a whole lot of fun, doing a lot of that. I kept it. I probably should have handed it off. So I misread that one. But I was able to sneak right on through with my quarterback. You don't see too many people on YouTube run stuff like this. Not consistently. We'll definitely have to keep it with the quarterback. Ooh, they went spy. Nothing I can do there. Zone. I had another. Let me ask you this. Sorry if I missed this, but is this an updated ISO? No, it's not, Topher. This is not updated anything. It's the same. The only thing I'm using differently is, well, it's my little modded ISO that just has the immediate transfer stuff. That's it. Okay, let me ask you this, people. I'll bring it up now. I don't have to use this. My Tulane Dynasty, the last couple years, I used the little transfer mod, where I can immediately bring people in out of the gate, that type of thing. People are immediately eligible to play. Do you still want me to use that? I think I should. Just it keeps it a little bit more modern. It'll help out my roster every year a little bit, bringing in some players. It'll help out with recruiting. It's just the whole transfer. I just think it's fun. I think it's a cool little, and it's realistic. It's kind of what we're doing now. Everybody's bringing in 5 or 6 different transfers. I would do the same with mine. Now they would have to. They got one thing they got to fix with it. Yeah, okay, that answers my question. Thank you all for answering that. The other thing I was going to ask you, what was it? I already forgot what it was. I forgot. Seeing players move around. Yeah, I do too. I think it's really neat. It brought more life to the game in my Tulane Dynasty, I felt like. Who has the closest offense to Dan Mullen Mississippi State offense in 06? Florida. You talk about playbook or roster? I mean, Dan Mullen was Urban Meyer's offensive coordinator forever and ever, so you would go with Florida, Urban Meyer, if that's what you're asking. It'd be funny if Ryan Stamper transferred you at Buffalo. I'd keep him. You know, he'd be such a great linebacker for me. And that'd be another weird thing I'll be doing. That 4-2-5, I'm gonna be doing some things I've never done since I guess my last 4-2-5 dynasty with Washington State. I'm going to be controlling. I'm going to be doing a lot of cover 1 and cover 3. The only time you ever see me do a lot of cover 3 in my old dynasties is my cover 3 cloud. But the way the 4-2-5 is set up, it's just really built well for 1s and 3s. Let me do something like this. I could follow my halfback. Of course, this ain't going to work. Let's try. Let's see. Okay, if you're just wanting playbook, think Florida and Utah. That's got a lot of shotguns, Northwestern. If that's what you're focused, but don't worry about the playbook. Just you can create your own playbook in 06. That's why I never really suggest people to pick a team playbook. There's no point in it when you could just create your own. You can pick whatever 9 formations you want. You're not missing out on plays and whatnot. Every team that has ace normal shares the exact same 18 plays from ace normal. It doesn't matter what playbooks you get them from. It wasn't until 07 where they made them a lot more detailed, which is like the only real bonus to playing 07 for me. But even then I got over because now I got a playbook editor. I can create whatever play I want in 06. So the motivation for me to play 07 is just kind of mute. It's not needed. But again, that's just me. Spread it out. Get a field. Nowhere to go. I'm going to try to do some hurry up. I can't practice hurry up in practice mode. The game won't let you do it. Now, oh, yes, here's the other question. I've had 2 or 3 people bring this up as a house rule. I don't know how I feel about it. It is do not run any clock. I've been preaching for years that running clock is the best way to play defense until you got some decent talent. It's just realistic strategy. You're trying to keep the ball away from really good offenses. That's the only point of doing it. But some people think it's too easy. I don't know, but you still got to execute. You still got to get your first downs. You still got to run that clock. But I was thinking about treating this offense as a fast-paced offense, so I may not do any of that until I need to. I don't know. I'm trying to think realistically. Can we see some wide receiver tight end deep shots? Let's see. And you can adjust the opposing team's playbook to make it realistic to the team. No, you can't. Can't. Well, the Next Mod kind of does that. I kind of helped him out with that. Remind me, Uncle Sam, later I can show you. You can change playbooks for opposing coaches, for opposing teams that you don't control. That's in the Next Mod, though. If you don't use the emulator, or the mod, the Next Mod, or ISO, then no, you really can't do that. But I may have to show you something a little bit later on that. When you're building a small program, it definitely helps to keep the CPU offense fit. Yeah, I think it's smart. I agree. I don't see only in the 4th quarter. That's a pretty decent rule. That's not bad. I like that. That's a nice middle of the road viewpoint of that. I like that. I could start doing that because again, I want this offense to be kind of fast paced. Get up to the line, just call your play and move on to the next one. because I wanted to force my hand to do more audible stuff. You just use the console. Okay, let me show you a couple of deep shots with the tight end really quick for Zach, and I'm going to show you something in the Dynasty mode. Running clock in the fourth quarter. Okay, that's what I'll go with. That's a good idea. That's a nice happy medium for the two opposite sides of the spectrum. So that's what we'll do. Let me do my tight end thing. I don't think PA... are you looking for... You just want to see deep shots of that. I changed all these plays. So I have, like, here's, for example... Did I fit? I don't think I fixed this one. Tight end, get him! There's a good deep shot. Cover 2 zone beater. We're going zone, cover 2. I can try to hit that tight end. I would love to do this more often. It's such a risky throw, but it's fun if you can hit it. Cover 0. Here's another deep shot for your tight end. Can he get it? I'm going to let him handle it. Nice. Okay, there's some deep shots for you there. Let me go to that Dynasty mode thing before I forget it. I can't remember when the CPU starts to run clock. I want to say somewhere around the 3 minutes to go in the 4th. You know, I've never really paid attention to that. I never get blown out. So I'm not being facetious here. I'm not trying to boast or anything. It's been a long time since I got blown out in the game, and I've stuck with the game. I guess other than my Arkansas State Dynasties, I don't really remember. But I think that's a great rule. Whoever said, a couple of guys mentioned that. So I think that's what I'll do with that run clock thing. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to select Tulane. That's fine. Doesn't matter who we pick. And we're going to start a brand new Dynasty. And I'm going to show you if we can, on the console, change other playbooks for other schools. For some reason, I feel like you can. If you go over to coach options, here we are. Here is our Tulane coach. You see the L1 and R1. You can switch over teams like this. Okay? So here's the Air Force coach. All right, now look, we can switch some of this around. I think it's going to let us. If I select X, boom. There it is right there. So I just now gave Air Force the Arizona playbook. So, and if that was a spread playbook, I can go here and change that to spread offense or whatever. So if I was you, if you want to, I don't have, I actually got some files I could probably, so either way, there are a handful of playbooks that are gun offense only. Florida, Northwestern, Bowling Green's got a lot of shotgun, and I think Utah. A lot of those are Urban Meyer related. So stick to like one of those 4. And if you want to go in and force some of these teams to have spread offenses and whatnot, this is what I would probably do, Uncle Sam. Go to these particular teams you feel like they need a spread offense of some sort. Give them the Florida, Northwestern, Utah, or Bowling Green playbook and change that offensive type to spread offense, and you should be good to go. Let's see. This is my good... I could watch and play these games all day. So, yeah. So, hopefully that answered your question, Uncle Sam. Technically, yes, you could go in there and manually do it. You just got to do it once you start the Dynasty. That's the only one of the downsides to all of these games from the PS2 is you cannot edit coach info outside of Dynasty. You got to do it inside the Dynasty. If they would have just took that information and put it outside of it, you could have that set up without even having to go into a Dynasty. You can get ready to go. It'd be a lot more convenient, but it's not. So it is what it is. So that answers your question there. Thurston Ingram. Thumbs up to you, brother. All right, how long have I been going? I've been going for about 2 hours. Okay, I got about 2 minutes left. There's nothing else I can really show you. I think I'll just go with Buffalo. I just kind of like them a little bit more. I don't know why. That was my initial gut reaction before I signed on here anyways. Was I just thought their look was just a little bit better, and this will be just a little bit more of a challenge compared to Temple. So I think I'll just roll with Buffalo. And hopefully I can get that video up in the next tomorrow, more than likely, if not Saturday. Editing coach info was a pain. I started Dynasty to do all the editing, first save before it actually started playing. That's what you have to do, is you have to do that at the beginning. And what you can do, here's another thing. You can go over to positions. There's nothing stopping you what you probably need to do is set up your own Dynasty to update that. This is for console players. Set it up, and then you can create a new coach and assign him to a team, and you're off and running. I thought you was going to be updated rosters. You did not want to do that. I want to use the new ISO mod, but they don't have it updated yet. And I want, because the new ISO has playbook stuff I want to fool with, and they just don't have it ready yet. And since it's not ready, I don't want to sit around and wait on it. So I don't mind using the 05 rosters. That's not a big deal. It has nothing to do with rosters for me. I don't care to see, Hendon Hooker playing. That's cool. Don't get me wrong. The roster thing, it really has nothing to do with me wanting to do the next mod. I got the 2021 roster file on me right now. I can use it. I just really don't want to. Those files have some issues with them anyways. So I'm perfectly fine using my named roster 05 files. Still going to find a play to call the Philly cheese. Think of something Buffalo-ish, and we can do that. No. I'm not. The only thing modded with what I'm doing here is that transfer stuff. This is all 2005 still across the board, other than the immediate transfers and the extra transfers at the end of the season. That's it. This is not the next ISO whatsoever. Not unless they decide to release it today at this very moment. Then I may change my mind on it. But this is all just 2005. The Buffalo Wing. Oh, that's Uncle Sam. Nice. The Buffalo Wing, and that's going to be what that is for that little slot receiver in the flat against man on the strong side of the field. That's a good one. Yeah, I like that one. That was good. So, yeah, but Uncle Sam, hopefully that answered your question about the coach thing. Thankfully, you can still do that. Anybody else? I can stay on for about one more minute, then I'm just going to get out here and relax. And I really don't want to start that new video. I can do that tomorrow afternoon. I can get that up by 6. Anybody have anything else? We still got quite a few people in here. It's not bad. It's been a pretty good crowd. I didn't know what to expect on a short notice. I had no plans of doing this, but once I set that poll out a few hours ago, and I saw, and speaking of, I want to see where it's at now. Let me go here, channel. Yeah, I was thinking about doing a race for the Heisman a few weeks back. The only downside with the race for the Heisman 06, it's really no different than Dynasty, but without recruiting. Like, there's just no difference to it whatsoever. And I don't see a whole lot of advantage of going that route. But the only reason I was wanting to do a race for the Heisman is so I could break records on purpose. But I kind of got over that for whatever reason. Am I live streaming tomorrow? No, I won't. I have no real incentive to live stream any of my regular season stuff. I just don't really care to. Let's go. I wanted to check out my community. Yeah, it is at 60. You can see right here. 67 to 33. So the whole new school thing, I'm glad that worked out. That'll please most people. That's kind of what I had in mind anyways. I was mentally, after I played against Cal and beating them by 50, whatever it was, I was mentally ready to move on to a different team. Although I do like the idea of doing trying to win 3 titles in a dynasty. But I'm okay with just sticking with 2. I can't finish that any better than what I done against Cal. 67 was my full football number. I assume you were playing on the offensive line. So yeah, I think I'll go with Buffalo. Okay, while we're here, this is interesting. Just now thought about this. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to create a new profile. I'm going to replace Coach Al. Yeah, no, I could just stick with Coach Al. My Tulane Dynasty is over with. Never mind. We'll back out. I'll just use Coach Al. I don't care about my user records or... I didn't think about that. Let me just do a new profile. I'm going to replace Coach Al. We'll just call this Buffalo. B-U-F-F-A. Yeah, we should have enough. I hope you're right, Rhinos. I don't know who would invite them. Hopefully we do. I want to get naturally invited. I don't want to force myself into it like I did with like I did with Tulane. I'm gonna go. Oh, junk. Yeah, I'm in Dynasty mode. No wonder. Let me back out. Yeah, I could take on Buffalo or Temple that first week. They're close enough. That's probably a rivalry of some sort. Maybe not, but I'm gonna go ahead and save. Let me fix my playbook. Now we got a little bit of more time. If anybody wants to ask me some more stuff, I'm gonna go ahead and fix my playbook now. I'm gonna go here. We're gonna go playbooks. I'm going to pick Air Force just because I know none of these are what I need. I'm gonna go gun trips, gun spread. We'll do the bunch sets next. Where is gun type? They don't have these in alphabetical order, which is really weird. Gun bunch. Gun bunch. Gun trips over. Gun trips over. There we go. We got gun wide trips. Then we got gun normal, which oddly enough, I won't use this as often just because it doesn't have as good as a RPO and don't even have QB choice in it. Here's where I will go gun ace twins. I think I may go one back all the way. I kind of like that idea. I think we're going to do something like this. It's all one back across the board. And if I want to do something left-handed RPO, I can just flip the play. It's no big deal. So I'm going to save that. Have you won every award? I don't know if I have or I probably have. I've won all the offensive. I'm trying to think of the awards that you have no control over, like the offensive line award, the center award. I've won both of those. I think I've won. Yeah, I probably have. I've won the tight end award. I know that's a tough one to win. Thorpe, I've done linebacker award. The defensive tackle, the interior lineman, what's that one called? I already forgot. I should know this. John Henderson for Tennessee won it years ago. I need to check one thing while you guys are doing. Oh, yeah, I know what I got fixed. Let me go back. Let's go over to NCAA. Let's go to settings. Let's go to system. Favorite team. The punter award. That may be one I've never won. That's a good point. Because I don't punt enough. I guess that's a good thing if your offense is good enough. So you're probably right. I've probably never won the punter. I've won the kicker award. Ooh, I want to change all this to just Buffalo for now. I may reset my records. Ooh, I didn't think about that. I think I may reset those. I think that's a good idea. I'm going to reset those. Just to keep it fresh with 2005. Let's go Buffalo. What's that award? Anything secret to have a defense player win the Heisman in 06? Put them on offense, Uncle Sam. That's what you do. I was close. I've done that one. I didn't win the Heisman with them. The best player, and I talked about this in that post I wrote about a year or so ago. I'll get to it. And I've reset the records just to make sure. We'll save that. The best player I've ever recruited was a 5-star athlete that I had to play at strong safety because I had no other place to put him. Like we needed help there. And I had him play a little wide receiver. I had to play special teams. And he had a bunch of interceptions. He was just a killer. I mean, he just done everything for us. You need to do what the last defensive player done, Charles Woodson. He played special teams. He played a little wide receiver. The Outland Trophy. That's it. The Outland Trophy. That's what I'm thinking of. That's what you got to do with a defensive player in 06. You got to have him play everywhere. That's the only way to do it. I need to make one change. I guess the only place I can do this is in... No, I don't have to go to practice mode to do it. Let me go back. NCAA. Let's go to settings. I need to go to controller. I always set this to 2005. That's just what I'm used to. 85. We're going to go 75 here. Straff. Everything else looks fine. Now I want to go look at the Buffalo's records. I'm curious to see what's here. So if you're doing defensive line, put them at O-line. Oh, if you're wanting a defensive lineman to win the Heisman, just good luck. I don't know if you could do it in this game. I he would have. I mean, you would have if you're going to put him on the offensive line as well. You have to put him as a defensive tackle, which means you need to be an offensive tackle or offensive lineman and run the ball a lot so he can get a lot of pancakes. Then he can get sacked. It'd be really tough. It'd be really hard. If you put him at defensive end, can he catch the ball? Can you play him at tight end as well? Again, the key is you got to play him like everywhere. So let's go to record book. I want to look at school records. Let's go to passing. Maybe there's a defensive end. I got a bunch of sacks and tight end. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It just he's going to have to play both ways somehow. So their quarterback records, they're all really old. And this offense, it's going to be geared towards where my talent is at. If I'm going to have one season where I got a really good quarterback, a good tight end, and a good wide receiver, I'm probably going to throw the ball more. If I have a really good running back and a running quarterback, I'm probably going to run the ball more. So it's going to be just geared towards the talent. I'm not going to be dead set on 50-50. We'll just kind of play by ear, and I think that's a smart way to go about doing it. Having said all that, 490 yards, I could probably break that if I'm just feeling really good with the passing attack. You look at single season, that can be done. Career, that will be not hard at all. 7,500 yards, you can get that done in almost 2 seasons if you're really slinging it around. 6 touchdowns in a game, that'd be kind of tough. 18 in a season, wow, that's their record. That's terrible. Your running back looks like he will be. I hope he is. Impact guy, well, hopefully he will be. 18, that's I'll break that one easily. In career, yeah, all these passing records, I'm pretty sure I can break even with my offense that's not going to be pass happy per se. I'm going to look at rushing. This won't be a little bit tougher, but running is not the hardest thing to do in 06. So 266 yards in one game, that could be kind of tough. The 1,200 yards, that could be done. 3,000 yards, it would take 2.5 seasons with that. But this offense, it's going to be kind of different. My running back is just going to do a lot of halfback dives, read options, PE reads off those runs. It just won't be as simple to run the ball. But I think I can still pull that one off. And then you got 5 touchdowns in a game, 16 in a season. I can break that. Career 29, that can be broken. I want to go to passing or receiving. All these are just, again, Buffalo does not have much of a history with their football. It's just not very good. Yeah, Rhinos, this is 05 records. I get that. These aren't updated per se. But since I'm playing with 05 rosters, I kind of treat this as present day. Then you got 85 receptions, and that can be broken. Should. 240 receptions in a career. That could probably be done. The one thing with my RPO offense, my passing attack, it's going to be hard to force it to a certain receiver. It's all about what the defense gives me. So I can't just I got to force it to my impact guy all the time. So some of these may be kind of a challenge. 1,200 yards, 34 in a career, 4 in a game, 10 in a season, that can be broken. 19 in a career, that can be broken. A lot of these can be broken. So we're going to break a bunch of records for sure. Defensively, all this, I'm sure I could break some of these at one point or another. This 4.25, it'll be interesting to see how all that plays out, though. So, yeah, pretty cool. Yeah, a lot of records that I can break along the way. No doubt. All right, I'm about to head on out. Any last words? Speak now, for ever hold your peace. Let's see. Okay, yeah, I'm pretty sure Tyree Jackson got these QB records now, and I remember they had. Yeah, I'm sure a lot of these have been broken now. Thanks for coming in, for. Yeah, you got to remember, this is like essentially a 20-year-old game. A lot of this stuff has been broken by now. And I don't know if I'll eat another field cheesesteak for a while. That one wasn't all that good, the one I just had. This is still partial to Temple, but I can't please everybody, Uncle Sam. Sorry. Okay, all right. Thanks for coming in, and I should have the next one posted hopefully tomorrow, if not Saturday. All right, guys. I'll talk to you later.